taking a look at the headlines. Improving security, AMISOM and Somali security forces have recovered a cache of arms from militia in Mogadishu. Littering the environment, over 50 are arrested in Kasese for having no toilets in their homes. Also coming up on the spot, farmers in Mitiana and Mubende order their MPs to oppose the proposed tax on agriculture. Once again, welcome to Ntv at One. My name is Mebo Kebirunji. It has been a cat-and-mouse game between Kasese Municipal Council officials and residents as the latter flee arrest for not having toilets in their homes. However, over 50 people have been arrested for endangering their lives and the environment for not having sanitation facilities.
The municipal council workers working with the police started their soup in the early morning.
This one is okay.
Their mission was to seek out those without toilets and other sanitation facilities in Kasese town and the neighboring areas.
That's the pork joint.
The only time we can get these people is at 6 a.m. That's why you saw us early in the morning. So basically what you've seen us doing is we wanted to arrest whoever doesn't have sanitary facilities.
Indeed, some were caught still in their sleep.
But many people in town are going to run, and that is the problem.
But others slipped away.
The expression of this part here, for me, I've seen it is not okay. We are still even struggle to pull them up.
By noon, over 50 people, mostly from Nyakabingo 2 and Base Camp Ward, were arrested for not having toilets in their homes.
Because we want to prevent communicable diseases in our municipality and basically Central Division. That's what we have been doing early in the morning.
The officials say these people reside in the hilly areas and all the fecal material is carried into the water bodies when it rains, posing serious health risks. The operation is still continuing.
A meeting of radiologists in Uganda has launched an e-radiology platform where they can access the latest information and findings and equipment in their field of operation. The annual conference in Kampala discussed new innovations and findings and exhibited equipment that they say is their newest technology.
Uganda has received 2 equipment so far. They are within the country in private hospitals of high strength MRI. So these MRI are 1.5 Tesla. They are able to examine the musculoskeletal system. And because they are able, we will be able to have better diagnosis of the musculoskeletal system. That is, we'll know the diseases of the joints, the bones, the muscles, and the cartilage. If we have the better diagnosis, therefore we have better management. But because we have few people who have trained in the musculoskeletal, we thought that today is an opportune time to invite guests from the international community. So we have 2 guests, one from the United States of America and another is from Italy. And they are professors of radiology, and they are here to train us so that they can upskill and update us on the knowledge of musculoskeletal imaging using MRI. The strength depends on the money you have and what technology, but 1.5 is actually equivalent to what other countries are using in the developed world. We believe that there are plans underway for the big hospitals like the National Referral Hospital to acquire, but I think I'm not in the best position to answer that.
We shall now be taking a short break, but Ntv at One will continue shortly.
Use White Star Laundry Bar Soap with a lemon fragrance and you'll have a fresh, clean day. Be like a star. Use White Star.
Don't disturb Daddy. My daddy is a star.
White Star Laundry Bar Soap. All day fresh clean. Reham Fun Time. Fun all the time.
New Kasese Beauty Soap. He's always in a hurry, but now no need to worry. I know my way to his heart. New Kasese Soap with a perfume drop that lasts oh so long. And my skin feels so soft. I'm a Kasese kind of woman, true African woman, so beautiful.
You're the queen of my heart.
I'm a Kasese kind of woman, true African woman. Discover new body care collection from Kasese.
Welcome back. This is NTV at One. Farmers in the districts of Mityana and Mubende have protested the new tax on agricultural inputs and equipment. They have forcefully urged their members of parliament to oppose the tax that was proposed in June at the reading of this financial year's budget.
Members of Parliament Sylvia Namavide of Mityana district and Patrick Mlindwa of Kasambia in Mubende district were put on the spot by the farmers in the two districts to sign a petition challenging the proposal to tax agricultural inputs and equipment when the budget is endorsed. The farmers, who are being assisted by the civil society budget advocacy group, say that government could have imposed taxes on other sectors.
Abaka ba parliament tubasaba kuba parliament yeyina okutununula batuule bawakanye emisolo gyonna egigenda okuteekebwa ku bintu ebikozesebwa mu kulima ng'enkumbi ng'ebigimusa omusolo. Ekintu ky'omusolo kino tugaana kusoloza misolo naye kirungi omuntu akusoloza omusolo nga omaze okugaggawala.
The MP's efforts to convince the farmers on the importance of these taxes fell on deaf ears, and she had no option but to sign the petition. Many other members of parliament were invited, but only a few turned up. At least 1,500 signatures from several districts have been collected to challenge the tax.
We now join Agnes Nandutu for this week's Point Blank.
Proudly sponsored by
His ears bite off. Hey! I am the man who can just look at the woman and she gets pregnant. You should leave issues of the generals to the generals. You want another rap? Yeah, Susie!
Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the 2016 general elections, politicians will do everything to win voters' hearts. Remember the 70s, General, as you solicit support for your boss, President Yoweri Museveni. This was the day when youth in Lwengo district endorsed the Chankwanzi resolution to let President Yoweri Museveni be the sole NRM candidate for 2016 ahead of a sixth elective term. Honorable Nakabira and Honorable Sejuba, you have to dance or else lose in 2016. Elsewhere, you can also see Otukeoman MP Nyakecho Okwen kneeling before voters to apologize.
I requested for forgiveness from my people.
So, why are you doing this, Honorable Member?
I also feel the burden of not achieving what I should have achieved in these 3 years.
A noble and servant leader indeed. A leader who feels sorry for not doing their duties will find favor with God. Amen. Amen. All in the name of winning votes. Even Uganda MPs shed tears when Gender and Culture Minister Mary Karoro announced the government move
to degazette the titles of kings.
Don't
cry! Don't cry, honorable members. Away from the politicians, we head to Kampala's Kisenge slum. Police raided guest houses, hunting for suspected prostitutes.
It was so painful. I have a deep, sad heart.
But why are you condemning police from parliament, yet you left the house ages ago?
So many women, 34%, and they go into this parliament and they see their fellow. And by the way, many of them do that.
Did I hear well? Do you mean honorable members of parliament?
Many of them, they are there committing acts of immorality. They go there with other people's wives. Some of them have concubines.
But you have evidence on the honorable MPs you claim have concubines?
Nobody can talk of morality. If you go to follow them and see how many babies they have outside marriage, how many concubines they have, how many mistresses they have, how many they do.
Can you name some of them, Honorable Matembe?
Aren't you pressed? Why don't you go and do your research?
I can do research, Honorable, but he who alleges has the burden of proof.
Why don't you go and write that? Why do you ask me who? You go and write it. That I said many readers right from that top. Talk about mistresses. Talk about children born out of wedlock. Talk about what? They have them. Have you got it now? Go and write it. If you are scared, don't ask me more questions.
All right. Let me go and report the allegations you have made against the MPs.
But if you write what I haven't told you, then you are in trouble.
But why are you afraid of naming and shaming?
You say I'm fearing. Why do you say I'm fearing? Are you going to force me to talk when God has not asked me to talk?
But why do you make claims, then you refuse to substantiate?
I used to have my file. I had it, you remember. Are you young or you were there when I was fighting to read the names here in the house?
Yes, I remember, Honorable.
I wanted to name all of them because some of them, their husbands were coming to me, crying to me, please redeem our marriage. Some of them, their wives were coming to me and saying, please, our marriage have gone because these members of parliament are just consuming each other and they have forgotten me. I had the file. Nandutu, you know I had the file.
Yes, I remember, Honorable.
And I was being told, order, being disturbed with order until the speaker said, please, that subject will come next time. And then it never came.
Agnes Nandutu. Point blank.
Yes.
We work so hard, but we are never protected. But with Skin Guard, we are protected.
Skin Guard is for everyone.
A 73-year-old woman living with 6 grandchildren in the worst of conditions has been saved from her plight by a civil society organization. Sanura Chakwaire is facing eviction from the road reserve where her house is located. The Phoebe Education Fund based in Jinja has decided it will construct a new house for the elderly woman.
73-year-old Sanuna Kyakwaire built her makeshift house in a road reserve. On several occasions, she has been warned by the council of Budondo sub-county in Jinja to vacate, but she had nowhere to go.
Numbeto naino era n'emigaire gibuna kivundu n'olukubona neyo yawomoka mpekano ago mufulede gwa maadi nigule giriga ebiri ago ate ndi kumpi n'oluguudo saawa yona motoka emanda.
Chakwaire looks after 6 of her grandchildren who were abandoned by their parents.
Nze ndiga tivwawo omana kubali eyo mumabiri ekyo bandekera n'abaana abakazi bagolola.
She says she toils to find food for them.
Nzira byambi ndi ago ntyo buli yosaba kutakuba.
The house in which she lives is on the last legs and could collapse anytime, and she believes some superior being is looking after her and the children.
Aba kanso bako bati tukutolago nakuba nti bana munanda zaga enumba nzirana nzimbira.
Chakwaire says she shares this house with giggers, rats, bedbugs and flies, and her eyesight is poor, so she cannot remove the giggers from hers and the children's feet.
Nebikundi nabyo kamala nenkukuni ndi nabyo kamala. Empube diri mu kamala munumba omwo. Ndi nebizibu bingi baba. Ndi nebiku. Ebiruma abaidukulu byalumanize mwene tuzira mirembe.
The youngsters rode around the village in search of firewood to boil some tea. One of the children roasts maize and mixes it in black sugarless tea that will serve as his lunch. Now, Febe Education Fund for Orphans and Vulnerable Children, an organization based in Jinja, visited Chakwaire and pledged to construct a house for her.
Guys, you can go inside and see.
There are many aging women and men in Budondo who live in such pathetic conditions.
A good end to that story there. A strike staged by Boda Boda riders in Mityana district town has left scores of people stranded in the town. The riders were up in arms over what they called the harsh treatment meted out on them by local authorities whenever they failed to pay their annual taxes. We have more.
Many locals in Mityana town were left stranded by the strike staged by Boda Boda riders. The riders were protesting against the manner in which they are treated by the local tax collectors for failing to pay the 20,000 shillings annual operating fee. The angry riders demanded to meet the Mityana mayor and the town clerk to express their grievances. They started their march to the town council but were blocked by the police along the way. They ignored the orders but later complied after the resident district commissioner, Joel Walusimbi, intervened. The RDC advised them to get representatives to express their grievances to the authorities. The riders also maintain that the 20,000 shillings levied on them is too high and want it reduced. The riders also maintain that the 20,000 shillings levied on them is too high and want it reduced.
Moving on to sport now. In basketball, the Warriors beat the UCU Cannons by 76 to 69 points in a thrilling league game played yesterday at the YMC court in Wandegea. The Warriors guard Ivan Enabu led his side to victory, while UCU Cannons were inspired by Chuma, who came from the bench. England maintains their dominance against India with positive results after a devastating bowling display in helpful conditions on day one. Serena Williams keeping her hopes of claiming her first Cincinnati title with victory over 8th seed Jelena Jankovic in the last 8.
England's good form continued with another devastating bowling display in helpful condition on day one of the final test against India. After winning the toss and putting India into bat at the Oval, England took 5 wickets before lunch and bowled the tourists out for 148. A spirited 85 from Mahendra Dhoni saved the tourists from total embarrassment, the captain making better than 90 for 9 in the last wicket partnership of 58 with Ishant Sharma. But England, leading the series 2-1, cemented the advantage with an unbroken opening partnership of 62 for no loss to close just 86 runs behind. Sam Robinson, who has not scored a 50 since the first innings of the first test, struck 2 confidence-boosting cover drives on his way to 33, while Alastair Cook has 24. In tennis, world number 1 Serena Williams remains on track for a first Cincinnati title with victory over 8th seed Serena Jankovic in the last 8. The American won 6-1, 6-3 to set up a semi-final against Caroline Wozniacka, who beat 4th seed Agnieszka Rwanduska 6-4, 7-6, 7-5. World number 2 Simona Halep takes on Maria Sharapova in a rematch of the French Open final. And the Murray faces 3rd seed Roger Federer in the men's quarterfinals. In cycling, Ironman champion Chrissy Wellington has praised the influence of the cycling boss Brian Cookson on the development of women's racing. Wellington has campaigned for improved coverage of women's cycling and last month saw the first running of La Course by the Tour de France in Paris. Cookson was named the president of the governing body, the UCI, last year. Last year, Wellington, a retired 4-time Ironman world champion who is unbeaten over the distance, teamed up with world and Olympic road race champion Marion Vos, double Commonwealth Games silver medals Emma Pooley and Wigo Honda rider Catherine Batney to set up Le Tour de Entia.
And to many football fans, I'm sure there will be lots of excitement in the air as the English Premier League kicks off later on in the afternoon with Manchester United hosting Swansea in the early game and Arsenal hosting Crystal Palace. Well, that's all we had for you. That winds up NTV at 1. Do stay tuned. Have a wonderful day.